Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Colin Hunter. I'm a student with the University of New England in Armidale, currently studying a unit on exercise and sport psychology, or sport and exercise psychology. Today, brief presentation on motivational interviewing. Motivational interviewing, basically a counselling technique used largely in a range of health settings. Designed to help motivate someone towards a life change of some sort. Done well, helps people to decide for themselves that they will make a change. Typical examples would be, say, quitting smoking or drinking, or in the case of the example I'll use today, increasing levels of exercise. So people are typically motivated either externally or extrinsically, or internally or intrinsically. Out of those, the more intrinsic or internal the motivators, the more likely that that person's going to engage in that activity, in our case, in making the change. If the more the motivations come from within, the more likely it is that they're going to make that change. So I guess I'll be using the example of exercise in my explanation in this presentation today. Hall and colleagues, in a paper they did, refer to ambivalence about change. If we imagine a psychologist, they've got a client, we'll call him Steve. Steve has been told for years and years by his doctor, you need to exercise more. Hasn't done so. Steve knows he should exercise more, but he also knows that beginning that exercise program is going to be quite uncomfortable. The short-term discomfort will lead to long-term huge improvements in his quality of life, but he's not ready to, there's a conflict there, he's not ready to make the change, and hence he's ambivalent towards doing so. A lot of health practitioners, Steve's doctor almost certainly, will tend to communicate in a very authoritative way. They're the expert, the client or patient should listen and just do what they're told. People don't like that. Motivational interviewing comes at things from a slightly different perspective. The spirit of motivational interviewing, 3 key points: collaboration, so working with the client; evocation, using the client's own motivation to guide them and drive the change; and honouring their autonomy. So at the end of the day, whatever they decide to do, it's their choice. Let them make it. Help them, but let them make it. Probably a little bit easier to get your head around than, say, the spirit of the game of cricket. Bit of controversy there lately. So Prohaska and de Clement, I'm probably butchering those, but anyway, they proposed a 5-stage model called the stages of change. So people will start at pre-contemplation. They haven't thought about it. Nothing's going on. Contemplation, obviously, they're at a stage where they're considering the idea of, okay, I've got to do something. Steve, probably there, if he's sitting down with a psychologist discussing how to actually make this happen. Then you've got the next stage where we're preparation and action. He might have joined a gym, he might have started going classes, engaged a personal trainer, whatever it is. But something's happening, then we have maintenance. So exercise is now a part of life. He's been doing it for a year or more, several days a week. He's doing some form of vigorous exercise and he's feeling good about it. Now, into this model is built in the concept of relapse. People are going to fall off the wagon or whatever it is that Steve might stop exercising for a week, get hurt, not come back to it for a period of time. Using the stage as a change model, this is viewed as a positive because we use it as a learning experience as to what has and hasn't worked, to re-engage and get back up on that horse and get going again. So as you can see, the idea for motivational interviewing, the practitioner's goal is to work with the client through those stages as the client is ready for each new stage and make that happen. Quite client-centric. By using an approach like this, the psychologist can probably help Steve in ways that other practitioners, say, for example, the doctor, weren't able to, because they're engaging with him and allowing him to make the decision to change, to start exercising in this case. So a couple of acronyms that we can use to help us with motivational interviewing and drive it successfully. So first of all, we've got rule RULE. That was harder than I thought it should be. First of all, R, resist the writing reflex. Don't correct the client. Don't argue with the client. Let them speak. Couple of reasons you do this. If you correct them, you're going to build resistance. Back to square one, they may as well stay with their doctor, in Steve's case. If you listen to them, if they think you're an ally, you build rapport, you're going to have a better relationship, a better therapeutic relationship with this client. So that's R. Next one, U. Understand their motivations. If you know what drives someone, you can use that to help them make the change that they want to make. L, listen. Listen with empathy. So empathy is a key thing. You can't fake that. If the client thinks that you're faking being interested and concerned for them, they'll pick up on it and you're back to square one. Again, let them speak. I had a manager in a sales role. Always told me, you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that ratio. Probably not a bad idea in this sort of example as well. And then finally, we've got E, empower the client. They need to be a true collaborator and driver of the change. They know themselves better than you do. They know what will and won't work. They know what they will and won't do. So work with them on that. Again, a common theme with motivational interviewing is this is about the client. You're there to guide them using their own internal motivations to make the change. Now, within a consult, another handy acronym that we can use to keep on track is OARS, OARS. It was easier than rule. So, open-ended questions. We don't want yes, no answers. We're not going to say to Steve, so do you think you could exercise more? It's not going to get us anywhere. What we could ask him is, so look, you've mentioned that you've struggled to stick to exercise programs in the past or to start exercise programs. Look, can you tell me about the challenges? That gets them thinking, it gets them talking and explaining and drawing out the information you need to help them. So then A, affirmations. Just small statements of understanding, compliments, helps build rapport, makes them feel supported and listened to keep that conversation flowing. R, reflections. This is very, very much active listening, reflecting back what they're saying to you, checking in, making sure that you're understanding it, making sure that they feel that you're listening to them. Again, helps build rapport, helps you put together what you need to help them work towards change. S, summarize. Very similar to reflections. So you're, again, active listening, going back, repeating in your own words what they've said, making sure you're understanding it, making sure you're both on the same page. And you can start using, once you're there, you can start using that to show the dissonance in them between what they want and where they are now, to help them move when ready towards the next stage of that stage to change model. So look, in short, motivational interviewing, very effective tool to help guide change, and do so in a way that's engaging and providing autonomy to the client. And you're going to have a lot more success from doing so than just telling someone, this is what you've got to do. So anyway, thanks for listening. Bye.